Hello all, and welcome to the zoo.
Why am I here?
Minions of the Zoo is a lovable ragtag group of misfits that sprang up initially as a fan group to Ranting Monkey, Scribe Light, Some Dumb American, and their joint Lords of the Night livestream show. Late night discussions in Discord quickly evolved into streams of their own, with each member bringing something new and different to the table for discussion. Led by the incomparable Reject PPC and the TheOneTonHammer, the group rotates hosts known as zookeepers.
Hello everybody and welcome to Minions of the Zoo. I am your host for this evening, TheOneTonHammer.
I will be your zookeeper tonight, Reject.
Alright, and welcome to the zoo. I am the TheLuckyPoptart.
Inquisitor.
Sanguine.
Skep, Tock.
I'm Prospero.
Cassie. And I'm Delahazed.
Regular streamers, they're known as minions, and special guests are known as traveling exhibits. They're on a nightly basis, so that each show has something unique and fresh for our audience. Minions of the Zoo currently streams at 10:30 Central Standard, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time.
And yo and hello, good evening everyone, and welcome back to Minions of the Zoo. This is night stream 1407, if I've got the numbers correct. If I don't, we'll blame someone else and move on. Joining me tonight, I have... Well, I'm seeing myself go in the red. I'll drop that down a bit. Joining me tonight, I have Terry Diamantis.
Hello.
And I have everyone's favorite phrase, fuck Mondays.
Yeah. Blame the new guy. Wait, that's me. Alright, no.
No, it's too late. You already said it. It's done. It's done. It's already happened. Paperwork's been filed and everything. Gotta move fast in this bureaucracy, man. You gotta move fast if you want people to wait long. Speaking of waiting long, guys, I hope you enjoyed waiting so long for absolutely nothing. I got nothing. I thought I'd have something by now, but I didn't. Anyways, moving on. Guys, how are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm alright. How about you?
Well, I could complain, but where's the fun in that? Johnny?
I'm not too bad.
Right.
Pretty tired and not looking forward to Monday, but yeah, that's
Well,
hence the name.
luckily you've only got just under 2.5 hours to look forward to, you know, sleeping through that day. I mean, that's what I would do.
I live in the future. Monday's fine. You don't have to worry about anything.
No. Your Monday is fine.
Yes.
My Monday is going to be completely different from yours.
Well, you should have a better Monday. You should come down to Australia. No, wait, don't do that.
Ouch. Chat, did you hear that? Terry just said I would ruin his Monday. Ouch.
No.
You guys heard it. He just told me I would ruin his Monday. That is so mean. He probably thinks I'd ruin his Tuesday and his Thursdays as well. His Wednesdays are fine.
I actually meant that Australia would ruin yours. But I'll go with that.
Actually, to be fair, by the time I got to Australia, it'd probably be Wednesday.
That's what, a 16-hour flight to...
Yeah, I mean, Wednesday there.
It's, yeah, I think it's close to a full 24 hours from Canada to Sydney.
Ugh, that's dreadful.
Yeah.
No.
It's not a fun flight.
I would imagine not. All right. Well, you know that we must all blame Delahazed for everything. If you would only allow me to mooch off of you, well, I would still have to blame you for everything. I mean, that is true. Even when I don't allow you to mooch off me, you mooched off me, so I don't know why you need my permission, but, hey.
Yeah.
How's it going, Costin?
It's, No, yesterday was fun. Johnny and I were messing around with an emulator called Null DC Bear. It's got basically every system from like the Atari all the way through to like the PlayStation. So if it exists in that time frame, you can play it on this system.
Nice.
It even has a Guilty Gear X in there.
Oh, very
There's what?
nice.
Guilty Gear X, Double X, Double X Accent Core, Double X Reload, Double
It's
X
weird. Guilty Gear X is the only Guilty Gear series not on Steam, and I don't know why. Like, they've got the original Guilty Gear, they've got XX, they've got XR, they've got Strive, they've even got like the one that's not a fighting game, like Iska or whatever it's called. They've got all of them except Guilty Gear X.
Weird.
Very.
There's
I mean-
Doki Idol Star Seeker.
Oh dear God. That sounds awful.
I'm sorry, my brain just broke from hearing that. Okie Dokie Star Idol?
No, Doki Doki.
Doki
Idol
Doki.
Star Seeker.
Mm-hmm.
Okie
Like
Dokie.
Doki Doki Literature Club. Only
If
it's
you say so.
Idol Star Seeker is what it's called.
Well, Doki Doki Literature Club was weird. Like, good weird, but still very weird.
I mean, yeah, just because you say it's good weird does not make it any less weird.
Yeah. Because, yeah, one of the things you have to do is actually mess around with the game files. And it's like this like super meta puzzle that I kind of just ruined. There's this character that's like holding the game hostage, or basically like insisting that she be your entire world. So solution is you have to go into the game files and delete her character, and then like load the game back up, and that fixes it.
Oh, wow.
Very meta.
So the latest Halloween trailer was on TV today. I didn't know they started doing trailers for holidays. I look
No,
forward to
me
the
neither.
Christmas one. I bet it's going to be so joyful and annoying.
Mhm.
I'm just kidding. I know what you're talking about, of course. And as I said to Johnny when he mentioned it, no.
I've only seen the very first Halloween movie, and it was okay. It's certainly nothing to get me excited about seeing future Halloween movies.
I remember watching them when I was a kid, and then when I was in high school, my friend's like, "Hey, let's watch a scary movie for Halloween." I'm like, "All right." So it's gonna be us watching his little brother. Little brother went to bed, and I'm like, "Halloween 5." Like it was the scariest one I saw when I was a kid. So let's watch it, and we'll be scared together. And we started watching it, and 15 minutes in, we're like, "This is fucking stupid."
Yep.
What the
as a
fuck
kid-
was I afraid of on this thing?
As a kid, I remember I really wanted to watch Nightmare on Elm Street because I heard all about it, and then I finally saw it. But I saw one of the later ones where like Freddy was a comedian rather than like a serious killer. Like, this isn't scary.
That sucks, bro.
And like, so as a kid, I was like, this isn't scary at all. What are people talking about? And then like years and years later, I saw the first one. I was like, oh wow, he was actually like menace. Like he was menacing in the first one. He was actually a threat. He wasn't just a clown.
Mm-hmm. Like, I was scared to take a bath for a week because of that scene where his claw is just extended out of the tub while she's there with, soaking with her eyes closed and it's just going towards her. I was scared as a kid for a week after I seen that movie.
Yeah, well, after I saw the first one, I was thinking, like, I can understand why people would have nightmares after watching this because the whole thing is that he kills you when you're sleeping. And, like, I could see someone being like, oh, I'm actually kind of nervous to fall asleep. Like, if you're like, young, not if you're an adult.
Right.
So I could definitely see that freaking kids out. But the later ones, like the 5th and 6th and onwards, is like, no, this is just... a stand-up comedian telling shitty jokes and doing like over-the-top nonsense. Like,
Yeah, like
Dream
Dream Warriors. Dream Warriors
Yeah.
is when it started getting a bit more comical. Maybe the one before that, I can't quite remember.
I don't remember exactly where it went off the rails, but you're right, somewhere around that point.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice that they brought Nancy back for Dream Warriors as a nice little treat and stuff like that, and a recall. And oh, look, Freddy
Yeah.
gets a second chance at the one that got away.
Yeah. It's no, I mean they're good movies if you go in knowing that they're more comedy than horror. But yeah, if you're expecting a scary horror movie, it's kind of really just the first one that really even comes close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that tends to be the case with a lot of the horror movie franchises, like Friday the 13th, Halloween, Child's Play. Child's Play was a very enjoyable horror movie for me, but only because it got more comical as I got older did it become as enjoyable as fast as it did.
I always found Jason from Friday the 13th to be a fairly boring villain. Like, because he doesn't really talk, he looks scary, but that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Like, he has moments when it's like he tries to be comical. like when they do something and he just kind of like looks at him like
Really? Like really? You thought that was gonna work? Like seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
like that insurance commercial where they're like, let's hide behind these chainsaws. and then you just see the killer and he's just like, ugh. Like, these guys are stupid.
No, I did watch Friday the 13th, like most of the movies in it, because my mum got me the box set as a present one year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, there's a definite turning point where, like, I think in the third one he actually dies, and then in the fourth one he gets struck by lightning and comes back as a zombie. And zombie Jason is like the one everyone thinks of when they think of Jason.
Right.
Before that, he's really different. Like in the second one, I think he has like a bag on his head, like instead of the hockey mask.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it's really weird. All the ones before he becomes a zombie are just not what you expect. If you've got like the image that everyone has of Jason Voorhees in their head, he's not that in the early ones.
Uh-oh, what now, Cynic? Says
Hey,
fucking
Cynic
seriously,
Council.
Susan. Did she not give you a notification? Is that it?
No, I think he tried to say something in chat and it got censored.
Fucking seriously, Susan?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you have better chats to go annoy?
I remember I was watching the first Friday the 13th with a bunch of friends, and a couple of them hadn't seen it before.
Mm.
And it got to the end when, you know, the mother is off and she's dead. And then the lady's in the lake. And then he jumps over. He jumps up out of the lake and grabs the chick.
Mm.
And they're like, "Oh my goodness!" And I'm like, I just timed it perfectly. But as he pops up, I just go, "Hey, you guys!" And it ruined the ending. like just as far as
Oh my gosh!
because this guy was like actually, oh god, and I said that, and it ruined it for her.
See, I was gonna say too, like, I always imagined, but like, with Michael Myers and Jason, like, never talking, I would always, like, try to, like, especially, like, after the more comical stuff came out, I would always start imagining, like, if they ever did or speak, it would be like one moment, and it would just be like either that or just be like the most softest, quietest, squeamish voice you've ever heard, kind of thing. It's like, wow.
No, I think
Like Mike Tyson.
Yes.
I think what Saints Row did is a great way to do a non-talking main character, because like the main character in the first Saints Row game doesn't say anything until you finish a level. Then he says one line, and he goes back to being silent until you finish the next like story arc.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got like 4 lines in the entire game.
Silence is golden.
Cynic says quotations seem to work for beating the censor bot, so let's give that a test.
Well, I mean, it could be hit or miss too, so keep that in mind.
I'm going hard.
Are you going hard R?
I was going to, but then I thought I don't want to get the channel in trouble.
Oh, right.
Because it is Minions. If this is like...
If this was like my channel, then that'd be a different story. I'd say like, yeah, let's test the shit out of this shit.
But no, I don't want to get the Minions in trouble, so...
Yeah. No, we got to think of other people. It's just a team effort, that's all.
So maybe next time I'm on like Frosted or Jack or Johnny or Della's channels, I'll experiment a bit. But
we'll do a language check.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Test the theory. See if quotations are the way to get around it.
That could be a fun experiment for Wednesday.
Yes, sure.
That is when I plan to be doing the next stream on my channel anyway, so.
Cannibalistic was November.
Damn! I didn't know anyone could go that hard on the R, bro. That's just a...
That's a hard R.
Bro.
Yeah.
That's an R that can cut through diamonds, yo. Probably works for me because I get censored for shit that isn't remotely offensive.
No, I do too.
Yeah, I do too, but I just blame my country for that.
Yeah. Well, Cynic's in Australia, so I'm in the same boat where the government is probably like, no, let's not let him say that.
No one's suggesting or thinking that doing that is a good idea, Assassin. No worries.
I actually just said let's not do that because it's the Minions channel.
I'm sure he heard that. Maybe he just misunderstood and thought or suggesting someone was saying the opposite to that, and that's why it was brought up. I don't know. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt on that, on the mishearing part, but just in case. Hey, Cynic, who has my permission to give Delahazed a hard time? Oh, I didn't realize people needed your permission anymore. You should hear Sanguine. No? I'm good, thanks.
I mean, my position on the word is that it's just a word. You should be allowed to say it. But I also recognize that, YouTube has terms of service, and violating them can get you in trouble. And I'm fine with getting, me and, to a lesser extent, my friends in trouble. But Minions, I don't think I should be messing with.
The way I look at it is just, I'm not the only one who uses this platform. It would be unfair and selfish of me to do anything that would jeopardize the safety of this platform's existence because of that. Which is why I don't mind doing it on my own channel, because, like Terry said, I agree it's just words. Offense is taken, not given. And yes, while I do agree with the offenses taken, not given, I do see that some people have ill intent in their actions and words sometimes too. But still, it's how you perceive it and how you react. It's all a choice that you make. So that's why I don't mind doing it on my own channel.
Yeah. No, I had a friend of mine who he used to bring up. He's like, "Yeah, this should never be said under any circumstances." I'm like, "Well, what if you're talking about, Huck Finn?" And he's like, who walks down the street talking about Huck Finn? I'm like, well, I've done it before.
Yeah.
With a friend of mine when I was a kid.
I mean, I'm surprised we're not walking down the street talking about Huck Finn right now.
I had a book report when I was a kid. And I walked down the street with a bunch of my friends. And I was talking about how this guy was called N-word Jim. And I was just flinging it left and right, up and down. And no one said bunk about it. So, like, it wasn't a huge deal. And so when I'm just like, yeah, well, what if I want to talk about Huck Finn? And so anytime that I got a chance to say N-word Jim, I would say N-word Jim, like in full word.
Oh, yeah.
In this thing. And he's like, dude, you need to stop. I'm like, what? I'm talking about N-word Jim right here.
Yeah, I know how that situation goes.
And I knew it was just pissing him off, so it just made me say it even more. So
the thing that always gets me is when they say it in the process of telling you that you can never say it under any circumstances. Like the guy with Dankula, like that reporter, he's like, but surely there's no context where it's okay to say gas the Jews. And he's like, well, you just said
it. Right.
Shit, yeah, he just said it twice. So,
yeah. And Dankula was even careful not to use the exact phrase in telling him that he just said it.
Right. I mean, sometimes you just get a red carpet rolled out to you.
It's But no, speaking of just like walking down the street discussing Huck Finn, I remember when I was in high school, we were doing like like a mock trial where like I was the murderer and like that one person was the victim, and then we had lawyers representing us and all that stuff. So I was actually talking with my quote unquote lawyer about how I murdered this person, just walking down the street, just like. We're both like 17, and just saying, yeah. So then I killed him, and then this is my story, and like all this. Like if anyone overheard that, they could easily think that it was just like, oh yeah, I just killed a guy.
Wow.
So here's one. Sexy invaders.
You're looking at null DC.
Yes, I am.
Okay, that makes more sense.
I'm looking at a bunch of because I've never, my starting system was the NES.
Yes.
That's the first one we owned as a family. My cousin had the Atari and all that other weird shit that. Had like some put the disc in, then you snap it in, and then you have to lock it in, and then you turn on the system. Some weird stuff like that. And
so a PlayStation? That sounds like a PS1 if I'm remembering correctly. Or I'm sure that wasn't the only system that was designed like that. I'm just saying.
Well, no, it had like 8-track cartridges to it.
Oh, okay.
I totally missed out on games on cassette tape. My first computer was an Atari, but it was after they'd moved to cartridges. So yeah, you just plugged it in and turned it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine was the good old NES.
Yeah, I obviously I had an NES as well, but that was my second one.
Yeah, for me it was the first one that I can remember at least. Like that was the system I remember playing.
The NES is the first one I had multiple games on because the Atari came with Missile Command, and then my parents bought me Pitfall, but those were the only games that I ever had for it. And then when I got the NES, I started actually buying multiple games, Punch-Out and Zelda and Mario and such.
Look, I didn't need any other games, man. All I needed was Saturday mornings, the darkness of my grandparents' basement, my couch cushion fortress, and Duck Hunt. I was set. I was fucking set for the weekend, boys.
I got the Mario that came with Duck Hunt and the light gun, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the one I got too, because I had the light gun. And I think I remember playing Mario too, so.
We had that one with World Class Track Meet.
Oh.
Okay.
So I had the third game of it. And that, it was like, just because you had to it gave you the pad. And so when you're running, you had to actually run in place.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, you're having a heart attack just getting through one.
Wow.
I got to the point where I'm sitting there, and you can play, 8 players. You can set it up to where there's 8 players doing this track meet stuff. And it got to the point where I'm just I have an idea. Why am I using my feet when I'm racing my dad? And so, we started, in the middle of a race, and, he's, halfway through the track, and I'm like, fuck this. And I drop to the ground, and I start hitting the pads with my hands. And it just, the flash just flashed.
Oh.
He's like, oh, I would have never thought of that.
I remember you could cheat at Duck Hunt by shooting a light bulb, and it thought you hit a duck.
What?
A light bulb?
Yeah, because the way it worked was when you pull the trigger on the light gun, the screen goes black, except for the position of the ducks, which are white. And so if it detects the white light on the gun, it knows that you hit a duck. And so if you shoot a light bulb, it picks up white. And it's like, oh, well, you hit a duck.
Huh. I would never thought that.
I mean, I only know it because I read it in a magazine. I wasn't shooting light bulbs with the zapper. It's
yeah.
Once I found out about it, I tried it, but I wouldn't have found it on my own.
Yeah.
So I think that the new format for the Powwow stream, Twitter, Camel reads Twitter, Johnny reads the game list of Null. and then they just randomly blurt out things that they've seen.
But then who will read IMDb?
Well, that's what you're there for.
We fall back on that.
Oh, this is true. And I'm not always there, Terry.
Well, they'll have to fix that, won't they? They'll need a dedicated article reader, IMDb reader.
I guess they'll just have to replace me. Shucks, story of my life.
Well, we still have Indians with a Z as well, so it's
that's
yes.
true. That's true.
Or as it should be called now, COVID update.
Oh god.
Oh god, is that?
That's literally all the articles that they write on. It's this is what happened to the Navajo. This is what happened to the Cherokee. This is what happened to these guys. It's can you guys think of something else to write about? Because, yeah, that's a...
Now, they weren't given any blankets recently, were they?
I'm not going to say they were.
I'm just saying.
I cannot confirm or deny the existence of blankets.
An explosion of articles suddenly with a singular united focus as opposed to before over some sort of ailment. And I'm just wondering, maybe, is history repeating itself?
One of the accidentally funniest things that happened to me was I made a blanket joke and someone started going in detail as to why that was an urban myth, and there were no smallpox blankets distributed to the Indians, and like trying to give me a history lesson. I don't care.
That was Tally.
Yeah, I didn't know if I should name her, but yeah, yeah, she's like explaining in detail why I was historically inaccurate with my joke.
But wasn't it funny?
Yeah, look.
I thought it was.
But yeah, that would have been my response to her. It's just like, but was it funny?
Yeah. Well,
I can't ask, but is it funny? Because after explaining everything, that always ruins the joke.
I think I was more amused at her feeling the need to explain it. Like, that was almost as funny as my original joke.
Fair enough. I can see that. Oh, Christ. I've been declared obsolete. Report for some made-up word, and some other made-up word, and some other made-up word with some taxable word. Credits immediately. The made-up Ministry of Made-up. Got it. I will report there eventually.
Yeah. No rush.
I mean, I can neither confirm nor deny that it will happen at their desired point in time.
So you've been Burgess Meredith.
I'm sorry, what?
You've been Burgess Meredith from Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone? Yeah. With that's the one where he breaks his glasses?
No, that's the one where he's the librarian, and he's been deemed obsolete.
Oh, okay.
And so he's like, okay, you can kill me, but it has to be my way of. I get to choose how to do it, and I get to choose when to do it.
Mm.
And so he's like, he doesn't tell anyone how he does it, but he invited the guy who held his sentence to his apartment, and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, there's a bomb going to be going off in about like 10 seconds, so you may want to get out. And so like he freaks out trying to get out of there, and he's like, oh, I swear to God, blah, 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 blah. And then come to find out that, because it was videotaped, that the ministry showed that he had been deemed obsolete because he prayed to God.
Oh. I think now that you said that, that is ringing a bell. I think I might have actually seen that episode, or at least read about it. It does sound it does sound very familiar.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites on there. I really did like that show.
I think my favorite is still the one where the guy thinks he's in heaven, and then the big plot twist is that he's in hell the whole time.
Yeah. I keep winning.
Yeah.
I lose. Oh no.
Because yeah, I was so curious about it. I actually tracked it down on YouTube just to watch that episode. It's like, I have to see this. I've heard so many people refer to this episode. I need to see what actually happens. And it's funny, even knowing the twist, well in advance. It's still a good watch.
Yeah, there was I think it was every New Year's Day. I think the Sci-Fi Channel does a marathon of the Twilight Zone.
Cool.
So it was always something to look forward to when you're working overnights.
Right on.
So at least I have something to fall back on if I find myself bored.
Another one I remember is that there's a box where if you push the button on the box, you get, I think it's $1 million, but someone you don't know will die. And then they spend the whole episode trying to decide whether to push the button or not.
Well, I think that's based. I don't think that I know that's a movie. But it's
No, the
based-
movie was based on the Twilight Zone episode.
Okay, because I know it's based off a short story, but it could be
Yeah.
the short story is also based off the Twilight Zone. Because, yeah, that's
I think the short story came first, then the Twilight Zone, then the movie. I think. But yeah,
it's a thing called The Box or some shit like that. It's a,
yeah. But,
and then they made it a 90-minute movie.
see, I think that's stretching the premise too thin. I don't think it's got 90 minutes worth of substance to it. But yeah, at the end of the episode, they push the button and they get the money. And then the guy says, I will now deliver this box to someone else. And don't worry, it'll be someone who has never met you before in their life. And the implication being that she'll be the next one to die if they push the button. So they got the money, but they're probably going to die.
Well, that's always fun.
Yes.
It's a 1970 short story, Button Button,
Okay, there you go.
which was previously adapted from an episode of 1980s iteration of the Twilight Zone. So the story came first, then the Twilight Zone episode,
Yep. That's what I thought.
then now see the Twilight Zone episode I can see, but 90 minutes, like, give me a fucking break.
Yeah, no, there's definitely not 90 minutes worth of substance to that story. I think the Twilight Zone episode was the perfect length. You couldn't extend it any further than that. I think they changed the ending, and like the guy who wrote the story was all upset, or maybe I'm thinking of something else. I know there was one, I think it was a Twilight Zone episode, where it was based on a short story, and the author was like, "You ruined my story by changing the ending," and then like everyone prefers the Twilight Zone ending.
Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, I don't remember which one it is now. I thought it might be that one, but I'm not sure now.
Let's see. I know from the story, if my memory is working with this one. The story is you hit the button, you get $1 million, and someone that you don't know dies.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're thinking about it, and then I think he decides to hit the button, and then his wife dies after getting hit by a bus.
Oh yeah, and then did you really know your husband?
Did you really know your wife or whatever? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
fucking stupid.
And that was a dumb ending. Yeah, I definitely prefer the Twilight Zone one.
$200,000 it was on this one. Good lord.
Yeah, obviously the amount changes based on the decade that the story is set.
Gets me thinking now.
I've strongly disapproved of the Twilight Zone version, especially the new ending, and his pseudonym Logan Swenson for the teleplay.
Yeah, it's funny. Changing the ending is like not something that I think you should do. Even in this case, they improved it, but generally speaking, I think that's kind of a bad idea, trying to mess with the ending.
Fair enough.
Okay, it was the husband dies in a train incident where he is pushed onto the tracks. The money is from a no-fault insurance settlement.
Mm-hmm.
So it's $50,000 instead of the $200,000 from the Twilight Zone episode. Regardless, it's still shit.
It's a terrible ending.
It's long story short, Button or the box is all garbage.
Yes. Just watch the
Zone
Twilight Zone episode. Ignore the rest of the stuff.
Alrighty.
Is
I will take my visit to IMDb the way it goes.
But sorry, what's that? A car drove past.
Oh, I went to IMDb for that.
Oh right. There was a movie I saw once, and I've never been able to find again, called The Last Supper, where these people like invite people to dinner, and if they decide that they're like bad people, they kill them and bury them in the backyard. This is a weird movie.
Wow, such considerate, upstanding citizens.
Yeah.
I wish there were more vigilantes like that in my neighborhood.
If only. If only.
It would be such a better place.
It's yeah, I can't remember how that movie ends, but I remember there's like a politician who, like, they say, would you kill Hitler if you could go back in time? And he's like, no, I'd reform him, and he like gives him these lectures how no one is irredeemable, and sort of makes the sort of point that they shouldn't have been killing all these people. You don't need a moral that you shouldn't just kill random people. That we got that already, movie.
Yeah, clearly he didn't want to listen. It wasn't very random. He had a specific target in mind.
I can't remember if it has Ron Perlman in it. I will look that up now.
That is a version of The Last Supper. As I'm looking it up, a group of idealistic but frustrated liberals succumb to the temptation of murdering right-wing pundits for their political beliefs.
And yes, Ron Perlman is in it as Norman Arbuthnot.
Is that the same movie then?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So yes, that is the same movie.
There you go.
It looks really fucking stupid.
Oh yeah.
Mark Harmon as dominant male.
The only thing, like, I happened to catch it, and it's like, this is a weird movie, but like, I like weird. Weird can be entertaining, and so, but I never found it again. Like, I never saw it on TV ever again. I forget which character Ron Perlman plays. Jim Beam is saying, is he the liberal? I think he might have been the politician. I don't remember. I have very, very fuzzy memory of the movie. But I know Cameron Diaz was one of the people in the group that was killing everyone.
Award shows are fucking cancer.
Yeah.
I just switched over to the Twitter tab for a second, and Undoom has retweeted something to do with like drag people on the runway or on the red carpet right now. It was very confusing because like until I saw a group of them, I just saw a guy in a very effeminate outfit, and then I was like, oh, okay, it's a lot of weird looking people.
Well, I appreciate you trying to fill in for Camel.
No. If I have to suffer, you guys do too. That was just, why did I have to see that? Why did I have to see that?
Them's be the rules.
Them's be the rules. Sharing is caring.
But yeah, I actually like it. Like when people like, I saw it, so you have to. It's like, all right, I'll see it. Just got no problem with that.
I usually tend to see it before I read the "I saw it, so you have to" thing.
Hmm.
It's like, oh,
No, I've got no problem with that.
Oh.
If it's truly grotesque, it's like, ooh, that's nasty. And then, I got to see it.
yeah. I mean, like when I'm scrolling through, I usually see something. If it's got one of them little tags like "I saw it, so now you have to" kind of things. It's like, oh, I usually see the picture that's linked with it first before I read the caption. And it's like, oh, well, that would have helped me 2 seconds ago.
And since this is an unofficial powwow stream with no camel, I put the IMDb link to The Last Supper in chat.
Oh, that you did.
So if you want to find out more about the movie, there you go.
And even if you don't, do it anyways.
Yeah.
What are you doing with your time right now anyways? That's better. I mean, besides, giving us attention.
Yes, I'm reading the storyline to the movie, and Norman Arbuthnot is the ultra conservative guy that Ron Perlman plays. He is the politician or whatever.
Ah. Right on.
And I was just reading the quotes. "You left wingers make me want to puke." I might have to watch this movie again.
There you go.
Yeah, no, that's a bit much. You really need to is posturing really necessary in that shit?
Is what? Sorry.
I looked at the tweet. This guy's doing this peacocking bullshit.
Right.
Is it necessary?
Necessary?
and here we have our gay black guy.
Now, we don't know that he's gay. He could just be in touch with his effeminate side.
Remember to keep your voice down so we don't scare him.
But I want him to go away.
Then you really gotta be allowed like this. No, it's... God damn it.
Wait, does Ron Perlman say they're turning the frickin' frogs gay? Because I might have to watch this movie too.
I don't think that line is in the movie, unfortunately.
Ah.
Well,
Which is a wasted opportunity, because I
Right?
would love to see Ron Perlman say that.
Isn't it a bit older than the movie?
Yeah, the movie came out in '95.
Yeah.
I don't know what year Alex Jones said the frog thing, but I'm
It
pretty
doesn't
sure.
matter. It would have just would have been foretelling.
Yes, it would.
It's a phrase that transcends time, Terry. We don't need to question it.
But did you see on Twitter there was a whole young Alex Jones clip going around?
I seen a pic briefly, but I didn't care, so I kept scrolling.
I think it's funny. Like all the girls is like all the lefty women are like, "Is it bad that I'm doing?"
I mean,
like, I can't tell male attractiveness, but apparently young Alex Jones was kind of good looking. So all these lefty girls are like, "Damn it."
No, it's... God, I hate people.
Yeah, just as a general rule.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's fair. That's very fair.
There's no other way to say it. It just my faith in humanity it's already at an all-time low.
Aw, that's adorable. You still have some left.
Yeah. My mind was going to a similar place. I was like, yeah, what is that even? I lost mine decades ago.
Oh. Must be fucking nice, Johnny.
But if the line the turning the freaking frogs gay is in that movie, whoever made that movie we need to follow that career so that we can see what else is coming.
I think that if that phrase is not in the movie, someone needs to go back and re-edit it so it is.
I think that's fair.
Thank you. Thank you. Also, hey, Six, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, Six.
I said hi in chat. That's good enough.
That it is.
And, did he say, hey, Donny boy? I don't know what that is a reference to.
I'm lost too. Moving on.
On a safe bet, I'll just say no.
Yeah, let's go with no.
I don't know what I did, but you're welcome. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
I mean, how else do you respond to bad minions bad?
Thank you.
Well, I took it a step further, I guess. I took it as they were saying thank you.
Okay, so Ton Pullman, I think he means Ron, calls Trump Donny boy to get his attention.
Unless he's trying to call Ron Perlman fat.
Maybe.
Is Ron Perlman fat?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay, then I don't know.
But I'm guessing he means in like tweets and stuff.
Could be.
Ron Perlman will say Donny boy instead of Trump or whatever.
Okay.
It's some kind number of minutes is shilling the stream.
What?
Some indeterminate number of minutes has just shilled the stream on Twitter.
Oh. Well, that is interesting.
Yes.
It certainly wasn't me because I had already done it.
Well, I didn't know you were undetermined number of minutes. I thought you were an aggressive word towards Mondays. Will you make up my mind, sir? Or is it ma'am now?
I do like the picture.
It's all the same.
I do like the picture Johnny went with. That cat just looks so upset.
It is very suitable. Not just upset, just like.
Yeah, irritated.
Yeah.
I think we've all felt this picture at one time or another.
I mean, only one?
Well,
I've lived that picture for at least a decade.
At least once. At the most, we've lost count.
Terry, but you got to think we don't want someone calling themselves 7 or 5 minutes coming in and taking credit for it afterwards, though.
Fair point.
That just wouldn't be fair to them.
So I encourage everyone to go over to Twitter and see which number of minutes it was that shilled the stream.
So you can thank them accordingly.
Yes, and I will try and keep a bit of suspense. So go check that out.
Probably about X number of minutes of suspense.
Exactly.
I like it.
So what's the story with the missing chick?
You're missing a chick?
The chick that got, let's see, because I know Jack was talking about it early this morning.
Was it whore number 13?
Well, I doubt she goes by that, but
I don't see what other name she could use, but
let's see, the missing New York woman that was found in Florida, I think. one?
I don't know the story.
You presume I am aware of such things.
I don't know.
know.
I fell asleep watching the stream anyway, so it's not like I know everything that's going on with the story. So
I know. I think it was Kevadam said that the lady's name was Gabby because she was like amused that there was a Gabby on Quippers United at the same time there was a story about someone named Gabby in the news. So
Oh, I thought Gabby blew up. I see the name Gabby on the What's Happening tab on Twitter. I'm just like, oh, did Gabby get famous all of a sudden? I'm gonna have to annoy her more.
yeah, by being found in Florida.
Ew, of all places.
that could be worse.
I may pick on her, but I thought she was better than that.
One boyfriend and only boyfriend came back. I don't know the story. And yeah, Assassin is saying the full name, Gabby Petito.
Yeah, I don't know, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the details of the story.
yeah.
Sounds good.
Plus, am I really the type of person to dive into something like this? Like, come on.
Maybe she really was whore number 13.
Oh, no maybes, definitely. I'd be calling Mahmoud for an interview and everything. Like, how did you lose her? How does it make you upset? Like, how much work did you go through and how much work are you gonna have to go through to replace her?
Well, you can get in touch with Mahmoud easily. He's on that app. His user handle is Team Pussy Lover.
Right. What was that app again?
Happy Chat.
Right. Crappy Chat.
So just download that. Look for Team Pussy Lover. That's Mahmoud.
I mean, I kind of don't want to because that was going to be my username.
Just put it in Lee's feet so you guys can match.
Well, just remember, you're only as old as the sum of your child brides.
Exactly. Wait, that means I haven't been born yet. I don't have any.
Yeah, I haven't been born either.
No! Oh well, I'll live.
Yeah, well, maybe not if you haven't been born.
I mean...
We'll exist in some state or another.
But will we?
I think so.
Well, I mean, just because we haven't been born doesn't mean we aren't being created. I don't know, this has hurt my brain too much.
See you later, Six. He's heading off.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm probably going to wrap up here in a few minutes here anyways. I got to get to sleep myself.
Fair enough. For the benefit of those who have no idea what we've been talking about, go watch Della's stream on Super Seducer 2.
You'll know which one because it'll be titled The Best Chapters. That means it's the only one worth watching. Well, not the only one, but it's the main one worth watching. I mean, come on.
Yes.
And
the two best levels in the entire trilogy happen to be in that one stream, so definitely watch it.
I mean, watch the shit out of it.
Yeah, watch it twice.
At least.
Now, is the game come with like chapters, or is it just you play it and then whichever?
Oh, they're broken up into like chapters or scenarios, whatever you want to call them. Like it's just like it's one, like it's different types of scenarios and for trying to pick up people or for actually dating and stuff like that, or randomly meeting people, kind of stuff. You know, it's just tips and tricks for all sorts of scenarios that could be helpful.
Okay. Because I was wondering because it kind of seems like there was a game my dad bought a while ago, and I can't remember what it was, but you play kind of a detective, and you go through and you click on things, and you go through like evidence at this place. You go interview people, and then you go to this place and you click on stuff. It's not like the Facebook puzzle one where you have to click on a bunch of random shit. That's like a word search or some shit like that. But yeah, you actually go through and you inspect stuff, do forensic CSI shit.
Cool.
And yeah, it's a whole there's this whole voodoo thing that's involved, and there's the sad part is there's only like 3 chapters, and each chapter is like you get the same scenario, but it's just different people who are guilty.
Okay.
So like the first one, this guy's it's the same case, except for like just the evidence is just off enough to where it'll point you to who did it.
It's probably not the same game, but there was The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker, which did the same thing, where each time you play it, the killer is randomly determined, and the FMV is very slightly different to implicate a different character each time you play it. So, like, the first time you play it, someone will say, I was with Mary, and then the second time you play it, they'll say, I was walking alone on the beach, and you're like, okay, well, yeah, clearly she's the guilty one because she just lost her alibi.
So yeah, and then you can, and like each scene you visit takes a set amount of time, and so you have like I think it's like 96 hours to solve this case, and like you go to one scene and interview a witness or whatever, and that takes like 6 hours off, and then you go to a different scene that takes, depending on what you do, it takes like 5 hours off, and then you go thumb through notes, and that takes a couple hours, and yeah, it wasn't bad.
It sounds like a cool game. If you remember what it's called, I mean, I'd be happy to check that one out. It sounds right up my alley.
It was. God, I was maybe in 9th grade when I played it. So yeah.
How old is someone in the 9th grade? Is that like 14, 15?
14.
Okay. And so that would be like the mid-90s then?
Yeah. The start of high school for us, Terry.
Right, okay.
Which was the same age.
So mid-90s. I probably won't be able to find it, but just based on that. But yeah, if I come across anything that sounds similar, I'll check it out.
The only thing I really remember is that one of the pieces of evidence is that there's a big chicken in the middle of the living room.
Wow.
Because since it involves voodoo stuff, that's pretty much it's all it is. It's a big chicken, and it was funny because I played through the first one. I barely got through the case. I guessed wrong. And then the second time I played through, I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense. The second chapter I went through and kind of like had an idea of what I was looking at. So I ended up getting it right. And then the third one, like I got through the evidence, and then with like, I think it was like 90% of the game, I only gone through like 10% of the game. I just walked up right to the person who I thought did it and accused them, and I got it. So I was like, it was very criminal intentish. Like, just D'Onofrio just walks into the room, you did it, and then that's it. Like that's game over. You won. Like, yay.
Right on.
I just had a revelation that now that I've with the Null DC, if it's an emulator for all those systems, I might finally be able to play Discworld Noir, which is a game that I've wanted to play for ages and just never been able to get to work. So I'll definitely have to check that out.
Well, fingers crossed on that.
Yeah, I was always a big Discworld fan. Ever since I found the online game based on it.
Nice.
I've never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Discworld itself is like a fantasy series by an author named Terry Pratchett, and Discworld Noir is a detective game set in the Discworld setting. So I don't know much about it other than people have given it good reviews.
I see. I think I've seen this somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know if it had like a PlayStation release or something, but the PC version is too old for me to run on my computer without sort of being better at computers than I am.
Yeah. No, I think because this is the one of the image I'm looking for is PAL, and so I'm thinking that I have seen it somewhere, but I don't know where. Just because it's a picture of the this clown-looking wizard guy.
Mm-hmm. That'd be Rincewind.
And then the Grim Reaper on this chest.
That'd probably be Death. Death is a major character in the Discworld series.
They're flying away from the Earth Turtle or some shit.
Yes, the Discworld is in fact a giant disc on the back of 4 elephants who are standing on the back of a turtle.
I've seen that picture.
Yeah, that's the Discworld itself. That's where it's set.
Goddamn flat earthers.
Well, that really is a flat Earth. Like they're the ones who are correct in that series.
Can you imagine? Oh, just sitting there watching someone else go crackpot, just visiting that world from this one, just watching someone. The Earth is round, man. You guys don't understand. The Earth is round. You've all been living a lie. So that's what they look like.
I did watch because isn't he the one that did Good Omens?
Did what? Sorry.
Good Omens.
Yes, I believe that was him and Neil Gaiman. If I'm thinking of the right one.
Because I think that's where I thought I heard that name before too. I watched the first episode and it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I like Terry Pratchett's sense of humor. He's the one who came up with the phrase, give a man a fire and he's warm for a night, set a man on fire and he's warm for the rest of his life.
I mean...
And that always stuck with me. I always really liked that one.
He's not wrong.
It's a very accurate phrase. And yeah.
Definitely.
It is a very enjoyable one, too. But, guys, I am getting a little too tired to continue, so I'm going to have to call it here.
No worries.
Do you guys have any parting thoughts before we leave, starting with Johnny?
No. I got nothing.
Look at the name you chose.
And fuck Mondays.
Atta girl.
There you go.
Terry, what you got?
I'm going to say that while Mahmoud is indeed a legend, don't undersell the value of Michael, the Asian guy. His chapter in Super Seducer 2 is possibly better, or if not better, then at least as good as Mahmoud's.
I mean, it's That's not inaccurate. Plus, if you're into that sort of thing, you get a little opera. You can get a little opera out of it too. So,
Very true.
yeah. So it's a variety of treats on that chapter. But chat, thank you for coming to hang out with us tonight. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Be sure to join us tomorrow night when Quiz is scheduled to host, as usual on his nights. Be sure to keep an eye out on both Twitter and or Discord, because you never know when he's going to start. It's either going to be late, it's going to be early, hell, it could even be on time. Who knows? Just know that...
Let's not get crazy.
Well, then you make sure that there's plenty of beer and TV. But guys, be sure to keep an eye out and to know when he's going live, because it could be at any point. But other than that, take care, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Have a good night.